I've got the looks and the charm of an old movie star. Cary Grant, if you will, so I find it bizarre that this girl should refuse to step into my car. She must be shy, she'll come around, it's just a matter of time. Aurora, Aurora.
Hey there, something fans, and welcome to Screen Snark, a podcast dedicated to the shows that are in our eyes, on our minds, and in our hearts. I am Rachel Quirky Shank.
And I am Matt A.K. Stormageddon.
Yeah, something fans, because everybody's
fans.
a fan of something. Do you like TV? We got it. You like movies? We got it. You like video games? We got it. Screen Snark.
I thought in our post credits from last episode we'd gone with Screenies. Are we not sticking with that?
I don't know. Listen, if anybody who's out there listening has an opinion on what you would like to be referred to as in our intro, just let me know, and I'll just do that one. Because I don't know. Like, do you want to be called a Screenie? Like, is that weird?
I feel like it's become pretty common on most podcasts to outsource that kind of hard work to someone that's not the podcaster.
Yeah. Like, I just want to know, like, what your jam is, and I'll just go with it.
Before we get too far ahead, I do want to introduce our incredible guest, the wonderful Katie Delaney.
What?
Fans of the show might know Katie, as we refer to as Kati Bug, the creator of our incredible logo. Also, if you follow me on social media, you might know her as Katie Beast, which is her streaming and internet persona as well.
Many names there, Katie.
Yeah.
I love it.
I keep getting to places late and not being able to get my original handles, and then I come up with new original handles.
I'm going to pick a new one. Yeah. It's like making a new persona. I love it. Like,
Yeah,
I'm a
you
beast.
just start fresh with the same old trash.
Yeah.
Just scoop it up.
that sounds like the way I used to clean my house when I was younger, where I was like, I'll just move this out of the way of where I want to be, and then it'll accumulate something else, and then I'll move that pile to another spot, and it'll just like get bigger and bigger just over
put
time.
it away, quote unquote.
Yeah, quote unquote. You're just like, it'll just go in that drawer. I don't have to fold it. Nah, it's fine. It's fine. I'm fine. It's fine.
Everything's great. Also, I just have to say, Screenies sounds a lot like weenies.
Yeah.
It does. I don't know. As someone who grew up as a weenie,
contribution.
I'm okay with the correlation, but that's just me.
All right. Well.
Before we dive too deep in the life of the incredible visual artist as Katie is, we will of course talk about the things we've watched most recently.
Yes.
And I, as usual, will go first until we shake it up when I don't go first.
Who
But until
knows?
that day. So the most recent thing I saw was actually a movie. It was the end of Marvel Phase 3, Spider-Man Far From Home.
FFH.
Before I go any further, has everyone here seen it?
Nope.
Yes.
But I've already had the ending ruined for me because of work.
Oh no.
I'm sorry.
It happens.
I will then still avoid spoilers because that way you can still enjoy the majority of the movie yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say that I did love it. The big question that everyone always asks whenever I bring up that I've seen it is it better than Spider-Verse? No, that's impossible.
Yeah.
But it's apples and oranges as far as I'm concerned, especially since one's focused on Miles Morales and this one's focused still on our good old Peter Parker. I think that it was never going to be as good as Spider-Verse because Spider-Verse is an animated movie, which is a lot easier to do a giant variety of stuff in.
Yeah, and it's entirely different from like toe to tip. Like these are just two different movies just happen to revolve around the same mythical super handle, you know? Like vastly different.
Things I'll say I love about the movie. I love the mid-credits scene that I won't talk about because, again, I don't want to ruin it for the internet. But now I have on record that during that time, both myself, Rachel, and Patrick H. Willems, I've confirmed it on the internet, all jumped up and said yes to this thing. Like,
I didn't jump up. I threw my fists in the air because I didn't want to rob anyone behind me.
Of jumping up.
Yeah.
That's true. No, I, in a mostly empty movie theater on a Friday afternoon, because I have summer Fridays from my day job, audibly yelled, yes, hell yes, and got stares from parents, and I'm okay with it. I'm not going to talk about the post-credit scene, because now we're at a new world where it's not just a post-credit scene, but a mid-credit scene and a post-credit scene. Why? Anyway, I'm not going to rant about that right now. Just going to enjoy it. I loved the special effects. I love the meta commentary. I think it's no secret to anybody that Mysterio, one of the most famous villains in the history of Spider-Man, is a bad guy. That said, I'm not going to discuss in fine detail what happens in the movie, but all I will say is all of the large-scale Mysterio illusions that happen, because that's what he does. If you think that's a spoiler, go jump off a cliff. All of the large-scale illusions in the movie look straight out of the 90s Spider-Man cartoon, which is what I most remember vividly about Spider-Man. I love the comics and I love the movies, but like that was my touchstone for Spider-Man. Yeah. And the fact that on screen it looked identical to those things first shows how far we've come with special effects, but also made me feel like I was reliving my childhood in those moments.
It's very fun.
The structure of the movie is great. I still love the tone. I love that it's like a teen drama and a teen comedy as well as a superhero movie. My biggest issues I talked about, I was actually recently on a guest on the last episode of AP Marvel, which is a Marvel podcast based around an actual college course that's taught at, I forget which university. But they did a legacy of Tony Stark and Iron Man episode that I'm a guest on. And something I said there that I'll reiterate here is I don't love how Tony's legacy influences Spider-Man. In this movie, we get even more of what we saw in Homecoming, which is because of what his connection to Tony and his resources, he's not the poor kid growing up in Queens.
Yeah.
He's not. He just has more access, and I don't love that.
You said it in a much nicer way than I said it. I did a guest spot on Certain Point of View's own Real Movie News and Reviews, and I said I like my Peter Parker to suffer.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but that's the reality of Spider-Man, right? He's the average hero. His design is that he suffers like a normal person does, goes through the shit. And this Spider-Man does that a little. I mean, ideally, Uncle Ben has died, so he suffered when that happened. He's suffering with the loss of Tony, which isn't a spoiler at this point, and if it is to you, I'm sorry. But like,
I've already told you, I've ruined most of the movie having to do a point-by-point review of it for Time Magazine. So,
well, yeah. But like for me, the fact that while he's still suffering emotionally, he doesn't suffer financially. He doesn't, he has a lot of things come to him easily, and that's my only real major issue with this movie. I think fucking Zendaya is phenomenal. I love her. I think her version of MJ is great, because what we forget about with Mary Jane is in the comics and in the cartoon, she's drawn to look like a very statuesque, gorgeous woman. But the reality is MJ as a character, she's always been awkward and struggled. And they did that a little bit in the Sam Raimi movies when she didn't get a lot of acting gigs and she was struggling. But like, she was a struggling artist. She was beautiful, but she was struggling. And they don't really touch on that in the Raimi movies enough, or the cartoon. Whereas here, she's very down to earth. She hints at her messed up past, which she has one. Like, I just think she's such a grounded and well-made character. Yeah. I think all of the human characters have never been better than they've been in this universe. Like Ned, and I love this version of Flash Thompson. I think he's the perfect social media driven streaming tech bro kind of like
because I mean this is kind of what teens today would be like. They'd be streaming, they'd be living a lot of their lives connected to their technology, and I love that update. And one of the things I love the most about this iteration of Flash Thompson is how deeply connected to what it is like to be bullied, because like it's not a different social hierarchy that's like finding you out. Like It's not Joe Manganiello trying to punch you during lunch, which
Right.
I just rewatched the original Sam Raimi Spider-Man at a bar in my neighborhood with a thing called Sauce Cinema, and it was brilliant. And I was just like, I cannot believe that is Joe Manganiello.
I know.
I cannot believe any of this.
What's
but no,
even
it's
crazier is he was only 23 at the time, so he was still young, but like
Yeah.
still built like a goddamn brick house.
yeah,
Like,
just
He came out of the
a
womb that
truck.
way.
Yeah,
Pretty
he was
much,
just
yeah.
huge. Ugh, boy, howdy, that fella. But yeah, no, it's more in keeping with you are within the same sort of area. Like you're on the debate
Right.
team together. You're in the marching band, and one of you's gonna be like, I'm gonna make fun of you and call you dick names. Ha ha.
Well, also, like, the Joe Manganiello Flash Thompson wasn't obsessed with Spider-Man like the comic book Flash Thompson was, but this one is. And what I love is every time they have an opportunity to have him make fun of Parker and in the same sentence talk about how much he loves Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Like, that duality was one of my favorite things about the cartoon and the comic book.
Yes, more Flash Thompson forever, please. Thank you.
Also, like, if this Flash Thompson someday becomes Agent Venom, I am here for it. I
Yeah.
would love to see that.
That'd
my
be
God.
it'd be so cute.
Just a
it
little
would
itty
be.
bitty one.
Right?
I feel like if they did that, I think he would be the more put upon version of like what Spider-Man is, because I feel like he would
Absolutely.
just be so out of his element and just so
Yeah.
like scared to disappoint like his parents or whatever. I'd love
Yeah.
it. I'd love it.
Yeah.
Ugh,
I mean,
I'd love it.
Sony is still playing coy and saying that the villains universe they're building is never going to interact with the Spider-Man property, but I don't buy that. Because also 5 to 6 years ago, they said that they would never partner with Marvel. Spider-Man will always be theirs, and that changed. So I really think that they're going to keep pushing ahead with their villains universe until Disney hits the right number, and then they're going to merge that too.
Yeah.
I strongly believe that. But that all said, I think what I would say is I'm someone who thought Homecoming was okay.
I loved
I
Homecoming.
I loved
really-
Homecoming so much.
Tom
I
Holland
really
is a
l-
sweet, precious cloud that I just want to stare at
Well,
in the
like
sky.
my issues with Homecoming had nothing to do with the cast for the most part. It was some of the lazy writing moments. Like
Hot
every
Aunt May.
every Hot Aunt May moment pulls me out of that movie, and it makes it so hard to enjoy. I
Disagree.
hate those
Hard
moments.
disagree. Hard disagree.
Really?
My Aunt May is young, drinks beer, makes
No,
dad
I don't
jokes,
care,
and
but
is
I don't care that
amazing.
she's young. I hate that the only reason she's in half the scenes is so someone can make a joke about how hot she is. I don't care that she's hot. I don't care that she's young. I love that. I think Marissa Tomei is doing a great job. I love her version of Aunt May. I just don't want every joke to be, oh my God, she's so hot. How hot is your aunt? Like, it's reductive.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I hated. But that
Agreed.
said, like, I thought that frickin' Michael Keaton as Adrian Toomes was perfect. Like, so, and again, the first movie, like this movie, did a lot of the great teen stuff flawlessly. But what I think the second movie does better is its flow and its sense of self. I just wish that the second and third acts are so strong. I wish the first act was stronger in the
Which
new
has
movie.
never been said about a Marvel movie ever.
ever. But
Ever.
like the final battle scene, all of the twists, all of those are flawless. But the whole setup and the going on the trip and like it's sluggish. I feel like it could have been better streamlined. But that said,
Yeah.
all in all, I loved it. I think Tom Holland continues to impress.
Yeah.
I love him as Spider-Man. I love the core young cast because they actually look young. Whether they're the age or not, they look the age, which none of the other movies got right.
Yeah.
And we're spending more time with Spider-Man in high school, which I want. I want at least 3 movies of him in high school because that's what the comics were like. They were extended time in that place.
Yeah.
If I had to review Spider-Man Far From Home in 3 words, how would I review it? What would my 3-word rating be? I know I'm not spoiling Katie by talking about the mid-credit scene,
Oh,
but
your people,
I don't want to. I don't want to spoil the
Please.
audience because the movie's only been out a few weeks and it's not fair. And I've almost spoiled it in several places due to excitement. So
Yeah.
instead, I will say Fishbowl Forever.
Nice.
That's my
Fish
3-word review.
Bowl
A+.
forever. Oh, okay. It's my
Because-
favorite. It's my favorite Marvel movie about how you make Marvel movies. It's great
Yes.
fun. I love it.
Yep.
Very cool.
I do have to say, before we move on from it, that I will forever be disappointed that Bruce Campbell did not ever play Mysterio. Because
No.
that
He would've.
was his big thing that he kept joking about on the internet because he's in all of the Sam Raimi films. He kept alluding to that in the last Sam Raimi movie, he would play something much bigger than what he had been, and he had been posting pictures of Mysterio on the internet because he's a jerk.
Yeah.
Right.
And I will forever be sad that Bruce Campbell never played Mysterio.
Yeah, I've read the treatment and like the outline for that 4th movie. It
Oh,
was
I'm
supposed
happy
to
it
be
never happened, but
Me too. Like it was supposed to be Carnage and the Vulture, and like and that reveal, and like, yeah, that series needed to end. I still would fight to the death that the first 2 Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies are
brilliant.
almost perfect.
100% agree. Absolutely.
Brilliant.
Alfred Molina as Doc Ock is mwah. Ugh.
Ugh.
Oh, so good. That
Hug
whole
it.
second movie, like again, I will always go back to the scene where Willem Dafoe argues with himself in the mirror. That scene.
And his posture changes. Oh,
It's
it's
just,
so good. And
like-
he's holding the newspaper and he is showing
at
it to the
it.
mirror and then looks at it. Oh, it's so good. I
It's a
just
masterclass.
watched this and it's so good.
Like it's my favorite thing. And the Green Goblin also, I'm rightfully sure they haven't tried again, but like I've never seen the Green Goblin depicted as well as him, because regardless of how cheesy the costume was and how ridiculous the special effects were, the character was encapsulated so well. And that's what
Yeah.
the first 2 movies did really well was, and then with the second movie, the Doc Ock being the ally to Peter and then the enemy is how that story goes every time, and they did it so well. I love those movies. But that said, and like I don't even hate the Andrew Garfield ones. I think Andrew Garfield was actually a better Spider-Man, not Peter Parker, but better Spider-Man than Tobey Maguire was. He
Yeah.
was quippier,
Agreed.
he was funnier, but the movies were a train wreck.
I'm actually in the
Anyway.
second one.
Are you?
What?
I'm in the graduation scene, but I'm like, there's 9 million people in that scene. But I'm sitting 3 rows behind Susan Sarandon.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
it
so
was super weird.
rad.
It was 102 degrees outside, and it was an 8-hour film shoot.
Jeez. Wow.
But yeah, it was super
Wow.
weird. That was a strange day. Like I paid $100.
Hey, that's nothing to sneeze at.
That's extra
Oh.
work, baby.
There it is. There it is. Oh, I love it. Oh, now y'all make me want to go watch Spider-Man 2 now. I'm on a Spider-Man kick. Like, I've
Yeah.
rewatched Spider-Verse. I've rewatched the first Spider-Man. Now I want to rewatch the second Spider-Man. I've seen both the Marvel Spider-Mans. The Marvel,
it.
the MCU's. Yeah, like, this is happening.
I highly recommend, if you get the chance to play the PS4 version of Spider-Man, I've said on many other podcasts who will let me talk about it, that is the best version of the storytelling of Spider-Man I've ever experienced.
Yeah. Well, if anybody on the internet wants to lend me their PS4 so I can play it, just
I'm looking at
slide-
you, Johnny Caligula.
Slide into
Calling
my
you out.
DMs or whatever you do. I'm not a teen. Is that what you do? Is that only sexy? Like, if you're offering me the chance to borrow your PlayStation 3, that's pretty sexy to me.
4 PlayStation
4. That's what I meant. I have a PlayStation 3.
Yeah, it's
What am I
I was gonna
talking
say.
about?
Sex,
I'm so
video games, and
distracted by
snacks.
the sexiness of the PlayStation and Spider-Man.
Uh-huh.
This whole concept got away from me.
No kidding. Why don't we move on to what you've most recently watched, Rachel
Ooh.
Purdue-Shank?
Okay, before I talk about the thing that I've most, I guess, recently watched, which is very, very good, I want to give an honorable mention to a show that has been my companion for sleepy time, bedtime times, because I tend to watch things to fall asleep. I know that's probably not good for my circadian rhythms, but I don't care. It gets me to sleep. So don't at me. I know what I am doing is not great. Just calm it down. But I have been watching this competition show on Netflix called Blown Away. And Blown Away is one of those, there's a whole like slew of talented people. They do a challenge and someone's eliminated, and then in the end somebody gets a big prize. But this particular set of very talented people are glass blowers.
Oh, interesting.
It is so good and so beautiful to watch these people make these glass works of art, and also like when they break, because like the glass breaks, like it's just kind of par for the course. And it's kind of this weird moments where I've been watching a lot of cooking shows, and it's the idea that like all of a sudden the cake just falls off the table, you know, and you're just like, you have to start all over again on that, and it's amazing. And I'm not done with it, which is why it's only getting an honorable mention, because like I don't know who wins it, but so far like the glassmaker lady from New York, Deborah, is the best. Like her commentary is perfect. But anyway, that's really dumb, and I could talk about that forever, but I want to get to what's more important. There's one event on Netflix that happens every year or so. Involves a state I grew up in a mythic town called Hawkins.
Yes.
Where the things, they just get stranger and stranger. I watched Stranger Things season 3 and it ruled. It really, has everyone seen it?
It's
No.
my favorite season.
It's funny because like everyone literally shouts at me, this is made for you, you should be watching it. But I missed the first season, and then by the time the second season came out, I still hadn't watched the first. So I was like, oh, I'll watch both of them before the third season comes out. And now here we are. Eventually I will watch it. If you decide you want to spoil, I don't really care that much. But I haven't gotten to it yet. It does look phenomenal.
It's
I think
very
I'll enjoy
good.
it.
It's very good.
I don't watch a ton of TV, and so like I pick and choose, and it's never at the top of my list because there's always a bajillion things to watch.
Yeah, but it's really great. Like the young actors as they're growing up are just really like crushing it. The character introduced last season, Max. Just this is all I wanted to see of like her just like owning her space and her time and befriending Eleven in like a really cool, empowering way. I'm gonna try and not be spoilery. Like I'm not gonna hit like spoiler plot points. I'm just sort of gonna paint a picture of like things and the dynamics between the teens. The teens now, because they're teens, and the older teens is very fun. Steve Harrington is just bringing it this season. It's so good, and just Hopper trying to be this dad figure is all I've ever wanted. I adore the spooky scares and the big bad and pretty much everything except for the weird contrived adult romance. I get it, but I don't love it. But I think it ended beautifully. I hope they do a season 4 because I would love to see what this
confirmed.
world. Oh yes! Oh good! Oh goody good! Because I really want to see what happens, because this one really changes the landscape of what we've dealt with so far. You know, like it's going to be a weird return that's not a return, and I feel like that Stranger Things season 4 is going to be that feeling of like you can never really like quote unquote go home again, you know, because like so much is different. But I loved it. I highly recommend it. I had such a blast. The cinematography is amazing. The costumes are perfect. I want to watch it again. That's how much I loved it. It was
Awesome.
It took everything that was really great about the first season and everything that was like not so great about the second season and just sort of like like fixed it all in one and was just like, there you go. Now we got it. We got it on the third one. Like, this is absolutely just so much fun. So much
100%
fun.
Agree.
Oh, boy. I want to watch it again.
Those Duffer Brothers, man, they just, the way that they write and work with the kids in the cast is the most incredible thing I've seen for writing for kids. Like,
Yeah.
I've read too much about season 3 of Stranger Things, and specifically there's an interview with I'm gonna remember her name, Maya Hawke, which fun fact is Uma Thurman and Ethan Hawke's daughter, who plays Robin.
What?
The other Ships Ahoy employee is the moment you look at her, her face is just Uma Thurman and Ethan Hawke just smooshed together.
I did not know this, but I'm conjuring her image, and wow.
Yup. But there's a really fabulous interview with her for Time, and it's talking about that the Duffers don't finish writing the season until after, or like they write on the go. And so whatever the actors are bringing to the table, a lot of the time, like what the kids are saying off stage, essentially what gets brought into the script, and like they build up the relationships based on how the kids are reacting to each other.
Yeah.
And it's great. It's amazing.
That's so cool. That's so cool. They're like the Christopher Guest for child actors.
Yes, I love that. Perfect comparison. I'm sure they would appreciate it.
There it is. There it is. Ugh, the bathroom scene with Steve and Robin. Perfect.
Amazing.
The Slurpee scene in the bunker.
Incredible.
Perfect.
Fabulous.
So good. So good.
Alexi. Sweet, perfect Alexi.
Sweet Alexi. That darling Alexi. What was I going to say? I don't know how familiar, Matt, you are with a little podcast called The Adventure Zone.
So I'm familiar with everything that the brothers do.
Okay.
But I haven't listened to the Adventure Zone because I know that the narrative does eventually get serious and emotional, and I wasn't ready for it. But like I listen to Mabam Bam every so often, and
Mabam
Mabam Bam.
Mabim Bam is what
Mabam Bam. I like
Bam.
Mabam Bam.
and I listen to Sawbones, but I don't listen to them religiously. I'll catch episodes here and there. And so I'm aware of the Adventure Zone, but I haven't dived in yet.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna say something that's gonna be a little esoteric, but the Earth people are loving it. It's fine. Anybody out there who watched Stranger Things 3 and is all caught up on the Adventure Zone Amnesty arc as of this recording, Ned Chicane, anyone?
Right?
Just holy socks. I was like, I'm sorry, Griffin, did you watch this early? And just that moment, that the way to farewell a character. Just unbelievable. Just unbelievable. I think it's really funny that I'm listening to Amnesty. I watched Gravity Falls and then I watched Stranger Things, and just like those three things are just so similar in their aesthetic. I'm just like this weirdo, spooky girl in the summertime. You know, just like, what is happening? Yeah, because literally you have the motifs of Gravity Falls in Kepler. The fact that like Clint McElroy plays both the stands in Amnesty, it's incredible. And then just like this send off from like, here's another tiny town where spooky things happen. Anyway, I'm gonna start watching Twin Peaks now.
Do it.
I have never watched Twin Peaks.
I just bought a Twin Peaks pie plate.
Oh, cute.
Yeah, Think Geek died, so I bought all their things.
Yeah,
I
rest in
got
peace, Think
Groot
Geek.
sneakers because of Think Geek dying.
Nice.
I
got
got
a
the
King Boo beanbag chair.
Yeah, I got the giant handbag of holding origami style,
Hell
and
yeah.
a
Nice.
D20
It's a great
and a
bag.
D20 waffle maker.
Nice.
Nice.
So
Weirdo.
before we go,
Rest in
R.I.P.
peace.
Think Geek. Before we go any further, Rachel Quirky Shank, what is your 3-word review of Stranger Things as the whole, and specifically, I guess, Stranger Things 3? with bated breath.
Okay. Things. They're stranger.
Well done.
I
There
liked
it
your
is.
accidental one earlier too, which was just spooky summer fun.
Spooky summer fun for sure. That
Yeah.
one's definitely more the the
Descriptive?
The descriptive. Thank you so much. I was like the one that means something else than what I said with literature thing. You know, that
You
one.
got it.
That one. But I like things! Exclamation point. They're stranger.
Oh, with
Sure,
the
why
exclamation
not?
point really makes it.
Yeah. So
It's
Case,
true.
put the exclamation point in it.
Since
Trying
you
to get-
type these
trying
out
to-
and we don't.
Just trying to get you to punctuate them correctly.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Katie, what is the most recent thing you've watched that you've brought to discuss?
All right. So conveniently, I didn't pick Stranger Things season 3, despite almost doing it. But we're gonna go on a little slant journey. That Matt, I'm sorry, you're gonna have a harder time. You're gonna have to like catch the next platform. But so we're gonna start at Things season 3 with
Okay.
Murray Bauman, the
Okay.
bunker American loving conspiracy theorist, and we're going to just take
And weirdly interested in the sex lives of teens.
and adults and just everyone.
Just he
He's-
wants to know you banging?
He's like,
Y'all banging?
you doing it? You getting it in? Like that's just what he's doing to every character. around him.
Everyone. I'm so glad that he didn't interact with any of the preteens.
No, but that's where he just and then he called out Joyce and Hop instead.
True.
He's got to do it to everybody.
They're like, you know what? If we do it with him doing it to adults next season, maybe it will be less strange that he did it to teens last season.
A less stranger thing. The only thing that is less strange.
Yeah.
But we're gonna scoop Brett Gelman, the actor who plays Murray, out.
Okay.
And we're going to go to another show that he is on and is spectacularly disgusting in, which is Phoebe Waller-Bridge's Fleabag.
Ooh, I've heard things about Fleabag and I've not watched it.
It is Emmy season, and boy, did they clean up.
Ooh,
Well, nomination.
nice. Nicely done,
Um,
Fleabag.
But so Phoebe Waller-Bridge is amazing. She is the mind behind Killing Eve.
Ooh.
And then she's also the incredible droid in Solo, who
Oh, yes.
inspires
Yeah.
all of the other droids to rise up
And rebel.
and rebel.
What, like one of the few good things about that movie.
Oh, I
Yep.
loved
It-
Solo.
it- I liked it,
I loved
but
it.
like it was okay.
It was a silly,
But-
fun romp. It was enjoyable.
True, yes. I don't hate it like everyone else does because it was never going to be life-changing. It was a fun movie.
I had a
Yeah.
great time.
I enjoyed it. It was a really great game of D&D.
It was Star
Yes.
Wars D&D, which I
Yeah.
played a lot of. So
Yeah,
that's
you're just
exactly what
like,
happened.
Solo's just passing all of his dex checks, and his charisma rolls. Like, he's just rolling really well.
Yeah.
He's
If
that
any
guy.
of those roles failed, it would have been game over. But you know what?
Yeah.
He did a great job. Regardless, so we're not going to talk
Spent
about
all his
Solo,
luck
though.
points.
We're going to talk about Fleabag.
Yeah.
And so Fleabag is a half-an-hour format show on Amazon Prime, where Phoebe Waller-Bridge is the star and the writer, and I think also or she's not the director, but I think she's just the writer and the star. And it follows a unnamed character. A weird thing about the show is there's only like 3 characters that are named. Everybody else is just like godmother or dad or the priest or literally arsehole guy or like sexy misogynist. They're all just named whatever she calls them randomly. Which makes it really funny because I didn't realize until halfway through the first season that nobody had names. And I just kind of sat there and I was trying to describe the show to someone and I went, I don't know what the main character's name is.
What?
I don't know what any of the peripheral characters' names are. Her sister's name is Claire. Is that the only character with a name? Which is pretty much the case. But it follows the story of a 30-year-old woman living in the UK who runs a guinea pig themed cafe that she used to own with her best friend, who is no longer with her. and her insane sexual romps. But it is one of the most delightfully sex-positive television shows I've ever seen. In that it is debauched and absolutely insane. And any show that starts off with a hardcore anal sequence in the first, 15 seconds of the show is off to a raucous start.
Yeah. I'm in.
So was he.
Ah,
Hey.
yuck.
But it's raunchy and absolutely bonkers. I think each season is only 6 episodes long, so it's a super short binge of about 6 hours, and then you're done, and then you're hungry for more. But it follows this one character who is fundamentally empty in some way and trying to fill herself with, she fills herself with sex in the ways that she can't with her other personal relationships, and has this awful godmother / almost stepmother who's delightfully crisp and chirpy and a very talented artist, but, she just hates on principle. There's a great running gag where she keeps stealing one single item from her gallery and then returning it just so she can see that it's there, but then steals it again. It's this weird rotating item. Yeah, the second season deals with a lot of Catholicism, which is very close to home in a weird old dead way.
Yeah.
Of where I've talked about the show with people who weren't raised Catholic and then have since spent 20 years recovering, and where they're just like, oh yeah, this stuff with this priest, where there's essentially a character who's just called the hot priest, and the whole thing makes me feel super uncomfortable. And they're
okay,
just like,
cool. I former Catholic myself. I'm very nervous now to watch this.
The second season is a treat. Then it is the most anxiety-inducing, but just delicious delivery of watching two people fall apart and just try.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of just trying really hard, and it's mean-spirited in spots, but not in a way. Because I'm a big person. I hate mean-spirited television.
Yeah.
My one example that I do let get away with because I'm a sucker for it is It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
I was just thinking, I was like, that's a
same.
mean-spirited thing that I like, but it's they're just so bad.
Oh, because they're awful.
Yeah.
I read somebody's college dissertation once, which was just that It's Always Sunny is actually just either Dante's Inferno or No Exit, where hell are other people. And so it's just them torturing each other for eternity, and they're all in hell. But that's my only other, I guess that and The League for a while, and then I got a little bit bored of it. But those are the two shows I'm okay, people can be mean to each other, and I'll eat it up. But then Fleabag is also the main character is awful.
Yeah.
But she's so interesting and unfortunately so relatable in all of the wrong spots.
Ugh.
As a 30-something with anxiety and depression who sometimes feels lost. But but the audience is treated as a character in the show.
Oh, fun.
So there's a lot of fourth wall breaking, but in a way that's very invitational, and you end up feeling very much so a part of it. And it's done in a lot of clever ways that I haven't seen the fourth wall broken in probably since really great Marx Brothers moments.
Okay.
But Phoebe Waller-Bridge is amazing. It's really good. Watch it before the Emmys. She's going to win all of them.
Will do.
Yeah, I'm familiar with the show because I listened to Adam Savage Still Untitled podcast, which is actually the name of his podcast. But Adam Savage has a podcast.
You can't title it at this point.
No, he can't. It's been around forever. But I'm a big Adam Savage nerd. I love Mythbusters and I love Tested.com, and I just got his book. Anyway, on their podcast, they talk about it's more or less a chat show with him, Will Smith, not that Will Smith, and I can't remember the other guy's name, Norman Chan, I think. And they just talk tech stuff and other stuff they're into. And Adam Savage at one point started talking about Fleabag because he's been obsessed with it.
Yeah.
And so he, on one of the episodes I was listening to, he's like, turn this off or I'm going to spoil it. And I was like, I'll never watch it. And now I'm mad because I know the conceit of the show and I'm pissed that it was spoiled for me, but I still want to watch it.
Yeah, it's great. Watch it with your partner. She'll also love it.
But I've heard that it's really great, and like the description sounds really good. That was my only concern, though, was the thing you brought up is like I only watched Seinfeld for Kramer and some other moments. I love Seinfeld; it's a comedy classic, but a lot of the episodes made me very uncomfortable because that was the design.
Yeah.
Whereas Always Sunny, I never feel uncomfortable because again, that's the design. They're terrible people, but it's so almost cartoonish.
Yeah, it's so
that
ridiculous.
It's not as
They
bad.
have an episode called "Who Pooped the Bed?" You know, it's just like this is absurdity.
I will forever go to Kittens in Mittens
Ugh.
from that show because like the ad.
Too much noise.
They're banging around all the time.
Crash, splash, 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 crash.
But I've heard good things about Fleabag, and I really do want to watch it. It's on the fabled list.
Yeah,
that I
and
swear
that
I
list
have.
that
say, too,
never
about
ends.
The awkwardness of watching it and those moments where it kind of does break through is by inviting you to be a character in the show. And with the amount that she references to you and that you are engaged with what she's doing on a separate level than the other characters, it kind of pulls you out in a lot of those really rough moments.
Right.
Yeah.
And so you get kind of a moment of where she looks right at you and she's like, I'm not that bad. Like, really, we're going to be okay. Like, you're fine. But, like, and she'll do it, like, in 3 separate beats while waiting for another character to speak. And it's flawless. But, yeah, the awkwardness is alleviated in some really beautiful and very skillfully done ways.
Well, Katie, how
Very
would you what would your 3-word review of Fleabag be?
I would say delectably debauched darlings.
Ooh, yes.
Gotta love a good alliteration.
Ooh,
Yeah,
love
get
them
that
Always a fan.
alliterations.
Well, thank you for bringing that show and chatting with us. I do want to, so of course, for those who don't know, even though if you listen to this episode, we credit it at the end of every single episode, but Katie Bug did do our incredible logo for the show.
Oh, shoot, that's me.
That's you.
Congrats. Congrats
Katie-
on being you. Isn't it the best?
It's okay. It comes and goes. It's usually pretty good. My basement's flooded right now, so that's not
Oh,
great.
no.
I'm just gonna move past that. But Katie, so for those who don't know, you draw, you're a voiceover artist, you're a storyteller, a writer, you're a Let's Player, as we have started a new Let's Play together. What would you say is the project you're most excited that you're working on right now?
Ooh, the project I am most excited about. I am working on a narrative podcast with my partner, the lovely Robert Prine.
Aww.
Yeah, he's good. He's
okay.
in Kentucky right now. But outside of that, that has nothing to do with anything. But we're working on a narrative podcast where I am the sole voice in, which is a little bit alarming. But it is a shipwreck story featuring a non-binary character trying to survive on a island where things start to get a little bit weird.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I'm going to say.
That sounds awesome.
It's really neat. It tells the story of a character named Jerry who keeps themselves sane by remembering and telling themselves stories of whether it's fables that they've heard when they were younger or if it's memories they had of their family. But it's neat. And then things get weird.
That's awesome.
Very cool.
Does the show have a name yet?
It does. And so the show's name is A Bend.
A Bend. And do you have a release date, timeline, or that's still in the works?
We have the first 2 episodes written, but we want to get the whole first season written before we release anything.
That's legit.
So, because since it is narrative and since my boy's a busy one, with too many jobs.
And too many bands.
And too many bands.
Robert, too many bands, Prine.
Robert, too many bears, Prine.
That
Just
too.
too many bears.
Too many bears.
Too many bears, too many bears.
But
yeah,
that sounds
that's the
really
big
awesome.
exciting one, I think.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Now, also going back to drawing, since that's what we promote you for every week. How long have you been drawing for? Because I don't even think I know that. I assumed it was since you were a kid, but is that the case?
I mean, there were cave drawings on the walls of my mother's uterus. This is
There it
maybe
is.
the most
believe it.
disgusting sentence I've ever said.
Right. Your
no,
mother,
my-
when she inevitably listens to this, is going to be like, Katie.
And
Luckily,
that is,
my mom
and-
can't figure out how to use a podcast. So
Yeah,
so-
and that is why you get your mother double presents on Mother's Day for
Every
the
holiday.
for the interior scarring.
Yes, which I will never be allowed to forget.
Yeah.
Pretty much forever. Yeah, I grew up. My mom was super artistic when I was a kid. She can make anything, whether it's a costume or art or watercolors or anything. She could do it, and it'd just be like, "Oh, Mom, make this," and she'd go, "Okay," and then she'd be like, "All right, now you figure it out." And so then, like, she would teach me as we went. And then I, did poorly in a lot of high school classes because I preferred to draw instead of listen.
Yeah.
Relatable.
And then I didn't pursue it as a career because my dad told me I could never have a job doing it. So then I got a degree in acting.
Well,
So, though I always make that joke, but it doesn't work anymore because I legitimately work full time as a voiceover artist.
there
That's
it is.
true.
So now I'm like, I do use my degree.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Some of you've transitioned to true artist because you are actually using your degree.
Yeah, I use it for the news though.
I know.
It's not like fun.
Well, they can't all be winners, I guess.
I know.
Yeah.
It's still neat. I've got, thousands of people that listen to me and don't like my voice and tell me on Amazon's reviews. It's great.
Yikes.
Gotta love the internet. Full of angry white men.
I know.
Don't at me.
My favorite though is so I work on a daily podcast for the History Channel, which is This Day in History. If you have a smart home device, you can download it to your Alexa skills.
Ooh.
But every day it's little snippets. It's like a 2-minute long blurb about whatever happened on that past day in history. And my favorite review of it, though, is because it has the same silly intro every single time, which is just, "Hello, history fans!" And my favorite review on it, though, is that there's this guy, and he's just like, "My family listens to this every morning while we eat breakfast, and we, every single time, all say it together, 'Hello, history fans!' And it makes our day start off on the right foot." And it, like,
Aww.
maybe
Oh,
made
it's
me cry.
amazing.
It was
That's
so good.
amazing. That's really funny. I thought that story was going the other way. I'm so glad.
No,
it
I
didn't.
chose to not go with any of the mean things that people say to me.
I made
Yeah.
the mistake back when you're doing VO on the internet, on YouTube specifically. I once dove into the comments of one of those videos. That was a mistake.
Oh, man. Yeah, I used to just
Oh.
drink scotch and reply to those.
Oh God. Of course, I've known you for ages. You're one of my closest friends, and I know you absolutely love video games as well. I will take this opportunity to plug a new thing we've started doing where we just did our very first video called Farming with Friends, which you can find on my YouTube page, where the two of us played Stardew Valley and
Badly.
acted like assholes. Badly, yeah. We had someone come onto our live stream just to tell us all the things we were doing wrong.
Just
Oh,
as well as we were giving them a
no.
brain aneurysm. They just
Yeah.
begged us, "Please start your farm over. You're doing a bad job."
And I was like, but why? We're having fun.
We're having fun.
So keep an eye out for more of that. You can follow my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/DJ_Stormageddon. We'll hopefully be doing some more of those soon.
Very fun.
But that was a lot of fun. Yeah, well, also, I find Stardew Valley is not a game that I'll play by myself, but when
Yeah.
playing with a friend and just doing the whatever mindless task of the day is, like, it's cathartic and relaxing. Like, and the music's really chill, and the graphics
Yeah.
are like these pretty sprite graphics. Like, So I kind of really love it. And I'm kind of excited also, as Katie is a friend of mine I don't get to see nearly enough. Like, it'll give us a chance to at least hang out at a more committed and regulated time, hopefully,
Yeah.
which will be nice as
'Cause
well.
I'm your next door neighbor on your farm.
You are.
On
You
our
are.
farm.
On our farm. It's your farm. Let's be real. I'm just kind of
no,
there.
it's our farm.
Okay. Rachel, do you have any questions for our lovely guest?
No, I don't.
Oh, I have a question
fine.
for you, Rachel.
Okay.
Were you at the book signing the other day?
I did not go.
Ah, darn. Okay.
Well, okay. So here's what has happened.
I kept my
Those-
eyes
What
peeled
happened
for you. I
was-
didn't see
those-
you, so I had to ask.
See, what happened was I got tickets for the live shows, Bam Bam, in October, and I didn't have it in me. As much as I love those sweet brothers, very,
The
very,
sweetest
very
boys.
much, I couldn't bring myself to go to a third thing that's going to be really crowded, even though I love all the beautiful Mabim Bambinos that are out there. I love all of you so much. I just was like, I'm going to see you again in October. It's fine. I'm going to see you twice in October. We're good.
That's
Yeah,
fair.
so
Legit.
I heard I didn't hear. I saw a photo that the one and only hashtag save the tick, hashtag my favorite version of Watto did a voice. Griffin
Hashtag
Newman.
the other Griffin.
The other Griffin.
Yeah, he was the moderator for the panel.
Oh, that's so cute.
And though he also had not listened to the Adventure Zone until 2 weeks before the panel,
Holy socks.
where he marathoned all of it.
That's
Jeez.
amazing.
Yeah, no, he was great. Though it was pretty much a long list of jokes of just the two Griffins getting confused about who was talking to who.
Yeah. Ugh.
Though then,
Amazing.
my personal favorite of their special guests was Chris Gethard was on the panel.
Oh, awesome.
He, which also, though, he came dressed in the same outfit that Griffin McElroy was wearing, which then continued to make everything confusing.
That's very
Because I was sitting in
good.
the back row, and there were three small boys, roughly the same height, with the same hair, and mostly the same outfits, sitting near each other, and I could
Yeah.
not figure out who was who because my
Who was
eyes
who?
are bad.
Yeah. Oh,
That's really funny.
very
but Chris
funny.
Gethard voiced Jenkins, just to let you put that into your
Oh,
brain.
I bet that was
nuggets.
so very, very,
Excellent.
very good.
It was lovely, but the live shows are going to be where it's at. I could not get tickets to my live shows in Philadelphia, so I had to get tickets to the book tour.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
That's
That's
legit.
so good. I can't wait to share that information with my darling partner John,
Yeah.
who has worked a couple times with Mr. Chris Gethard.
Oh, awesome.
Well, he was
Yeah.
absolutely delightful.
Oh, he's such a charming man. Just
Oh my God,
for
he's amazing.
sure. Just like what a sweetie. I'm excited that Gethard has a new sort of like Manhattan News Network thing. Were you
Yeah, I've
familiar
been-
with?
I've been hearing little bits about it. It's
Yeah.
an exciting new thing.
Yeah, it's very cool because like he's I think he's pretty much just retired the Chris Gethard show, which is totally fine. But now he's sort of like making that slot an opportunity to like promote other like comedians and artists and stuff. So I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
Big ups to
Yeah.
Chris Gethard. I could like squeeze him.
He's just a good. More good boys.
Good. Just what a crew of very good, very lovely boys.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's-
I would agree. As even only a fair weather fan,
Too
I would
many
agree.
beautiful boys. This is our McElroy Brothers fan cast. Welcome.
right, exactly. Before we wrap up, I want to, of course, thank Katie Bug for being on the podcast.
Thank you, Katie Bug.
You're welcome.
Before we ask you your final question,
Now this is where it gets weird.
we have some thank yous, of course, first, and then we have an important question to ask you. So
Yeah.
first to Rachel.
Oh, thank you so much to John Presnell for the use of the song Aurora off the album Fair Game featuring Stefan Remble.
I would also like to thank our guest in person, Katie Bug, for
Katie
our
Bug!
incredible
Ah,
logo.
thank you for the logo.
We
I
love it so much. And now
I printed a little one to put above my monitor at my job, so it's my little inspiration. So I've got like your logo, and I've got the Infinity Podcast logo, and I've got a picture of my bandmate and me. It's like my little shrine of reasons why I have a day job. Yeah. So thank you so much for that.
Yes.
You're so welcome.
And of course, thank you to our network, the Certain POV network. You can go to certainpov.com to listen to all the other podcasts on the awesome network, or to join our Discord server where you can chat with us and others about movies, video games, TV, whatever you want. We kind of really talk about everything.
Yeah, and you know what? That is where you can actually at me about watching TV to fall asleep. That's where you can.
Exactly.
I will only allow it on the Discord server. I will not allow it on Twitter.
Fair.
Oh, also somebody on Discord offer to lend you their PS4.
Right.
Yeah.
Mail it to Rachel. Do it.
It's the perfect grift.
And of course, I also want to promote my lovely co-host. Check her out on the most recent episode of Real Movie News and Reviews, where they talk all about Spider-Man: Far From Home and spoil everything.
Yeah, it's true. I've talked a lot about our very good boy Spider-Man in a lot of places. So if you want to hear all my thoughts about it, you can go to Real Movie News and Reviews. Also, my other show, the Infinity Podcast. I think I'm done talking about Spider-Man for a while.
For a little while.
Just for a little bit. Let me get through all of Twin Peaks first.
All right. Well, until then, why don't you talk by telling our guests, or asking our guest rather, our final question.
Okay, we'll do. I was like, how do I tell you? Pick a trope.
Tell me your question.
Okay, Katie.
Yeah.
In a world of fictional make-em-ups, certain aspects of said make-em-ups happen often and happen to a point that they evolve beyond fiction itself and become a trope. If you had the choice, I meant it. If you had the choice of any of these tropes to be true in your life, what trope would you choose?
Ooh. Oh, I don't know if this counts as a trope. I'm gonna go with it anyway.
Go with it.
Dramatic swells of music.
That's a trope.
I feel like if my life could be punctuated with dramatic swells of music, but also potentially not in tropey times, just like for no reason.
Just like all the time. Just like
reaching for a coffee cup and just just ominous noise in the background.
I'd love it.
That's
I'm
what I
into
want.
that. That's very good. I like that one a lot.
That's a good
little,
answer.
It's a little
I feel like
stranger
that
than fiction. I want that.
Yeah, that feels very much like an internet sketch I would see where just someone is like afflicted with dramatic music, and it's just like they open their fridge and like they grab the milk and it's like dum 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 dum, and it's like
Haunted by ominous tones.
How do I live like this? You know, what do I do?
I feel like that's the subject of like an Afterbirth Monkey song, like a person singing about how they're haunted by dramatic music.
You can have that. That's for you.
Thank you. I don't maybe. Whenever being Weird Out Loud is off hiatus, maybe that'll be an idea to toss out to write live.
Well, as always, Katie, thank you so much for all the things that you do.
Thank you, Katie.
Thank you so much for existing. I'm very happy to be here in the presence of you two amazing critters.
Aww.
This has been another episode of Screen Snark. We got away with it. We did. Another one in the can.
No one's thrown us off a bridge yet.
Yet is the important.
Spider-Man will catch you.
Yeah, it's true.
You get one, but you only get
Everybody
one.
gets one. And
Good thing
Screen Snark hasn't had to use their one yet, so I
have been your host, Matt, aka Stormageddon.
I have been your host, Rachel Corky Shank.
And we will see you at the movies or on a couch somewhere.
Aurora, 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 Aurora. Metal to magnet, she will be mine. Aurora.
creepy when you say on a couch somewhere. Here we are, just on a couch.
Yeah.
Who knew? Where? I love it. Don't change it. It's perfect. But we're going to be on a couch. Which couch? Who knows? You round the corner and, there's a couch.
Well, I guess
And
this is
there
our
we
post-credit
are.
stinger. Here we are.
Maybe,
In a
I
meta
don't know.
place.
See you later,
Weird that
fellow
it
couch
goes,
enthusiasts.
right at the end of the episode.
All right. I'm stopping the recording now.
Me too.